What is Gucci YouTube? It's your boy Black Uchiha, three long face, skinny body, and we are back still black with some more fire Boruto manga related content. Now I know it's been a little bit of a minute, right? Since I got to y'all my last video, since the queen popped out the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan on the scene, right? And I'm figuring before I flood the timeline, I'm most likely about to just probably annoy y'all with a lot of Sarada content. Let's get some of the smaller or lesser important details at the moment, right? For me personally, out the way. And honestly and truly, before we even got the Mangekyo reveal, this Himawari video was been supposed to be cooked up, if we're just going to be 100% honest with y'all. Nonetheless, here we are. You feel me? I apologize for the wait. Sorry for the wait. You feel me on my Lil Wayne-ish. But let's hop right to the business. Your boy Black Uchiha. You already know the video. Before we end the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, Sirski.
9 mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. 1 chiliocosm to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
Big Himawari Uzumaki, my guy, Big Kurama, aka Nine-Tailed Beast. What is you talking about? Y'all already know the dealio. It's crazy because it's actually been, and I brought this up the other day, not too long ago. Shout out to Cloud Ninja Podcast, shout out Byra Free Game, my guy Keto Maki, you feel me? But I brought it up, I'm like, yo, it's probably pushing on, right now we're at like 9-10 months since Himawari versus Jura, pushing a year, let's just say a year, right? For conversation's sake, it's been a year since Himawari versus Jura. It's been a year since Himawari was revealed to be the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and a bunch of head scratchers are probably going around like, it's been a year already. Yes, it's actually been a surplus of things that occurred within the last year of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga, understanding that after that Himawari fight, we still had the Sarada, Hidari, and Boruto fight, right? We still had the revelation of Ryu, and then we've been kicking off inside of the Sand Village arc ever since within the last 4 months to half a year or so, right? So it's actually been that long. And we know one thing's for sure and two things for certain. When it comes to the Uzumaki family, at least, and I'm talking about the real Uzumaki family, we're not talking about Kawaki, but when it comes to both Himawari and Boruto, they have to be kept out of the story for a lot of obvious reasons versus obviously inverse. Jura's going to make a move once either A or B, either Boruto or Himawari makes a move, with Himawari being outside of the village, with Boruto being anywhere that Jura is in the vicinity, it's on site with that guy Boruto, right? It's just a way to kind of stop the story from moving forward too fast, because once any interactions with either of these two characters happens on panel, the story has no choice but to continue, whether it be with Boruto dealing with, the fact that he's a global wanted ninja criminal, any type of forward progress in that storyline, the whole entire issue with Momoshiki, his karma seal, the whole entire frivolous alliance that he currently has with Kawaki that can break at any minute, and understanding that despite his team slowly growing as the chapters go by, more eyes and more suspicions are still surrounding and circulating this guy, Boruto. So there's a lot of things right now that currently need to be cleaned up or, brushed up on before Boruto can take back that central focus or focal point within the story. And then when it comes to Himawari, anything revolving around Jura and currently not just, biding his time, at least for the time being, would automatically push the story forward. So devouring Himawari would, especially if we don't see a Shinju devour their target, give us the idea of what it looks like once a Shinju devours his target, whether they die or, like Jura said when he fought Himawari, you're going to be in a suspended state, alive but dead. Either way, it's not going to be painful for you, right? So we're going to be able to see that, but also in terms of just Himawari's progress and being one of the heavy hitters now currently randomly out of nowhere in the village, being someone that has to be relied upon in terms of when you take out Sarada, when you take out Kawaki, and then you take out obviously my guy Mitsuki, and Ada and Damon are just there for the ride. Himawari is the guy, you feel me, within the village, so she has to be groomed up properly in the ways of the ninja, in the ways to actually battle. And we've seen that she took up Naruto's mantle pretty iconically, I should say, a soft iconically, when she decided to stand up against Jura, allow Team 10 to escape, embracing the ideals, embracing the fact that she has a power now, randomly, although out of nowhere, and she has to accept it and use it for the greater good, right? But still, when it comes to Himawari, specifically focusing on Himawari, right? When we see her next within the story, it's going to propel the story forward regardless, whether it be in relation or correlation to Kashin, Koji, and Jura and their scheming behind the scenes, or whether it be in relation to, the villages' reactions and the other villages' reactions to a new Jinchuriki being born in such a special way that hasn't been seen before, whether it be in war times or times of peace, or whether it be with personally and my personal favorite and the one I'm looking forward to the most, a conversation with Kurama and with Himawari. And it's going to be extremely important. I think they've been taking this year off, aside from everything I just stated, right, that's dealing with Jura, just mainly focusing on that whole entire storyline, keeping Himawari within the village, and understandably so, not necessarily any much storytelling going on within the village, as long as Kawaki is out to the side getting his limiters removed, Boruto is out of the village, and literally Big Boss Team Sarada is also out of the village as well. Not much storytelling going on within the village, and to avoid pushing the story too fast without other things being able to be caught up around it, you can't have Himawari in the village right now. We can't have all the answers answered about the Nine Tails right now, but that next confrontation is going to be so important and so integral for Himawari's character, because I believe she's going to play a major role, heavily significant role within the future of the village and the ninja world in general. I think by the end of the story, it's not just going to be, wow, Naruto's kid really did this, Boruto, went through all these trials and tribulations, but also it's going to be a note where it's like Himawari, Naruto's other kid, took the mantle, stood up, and basically kicked down the door where nobody was expecting it, and walked her way through and did what she had to do. So I'm really looking forward to the end game of her story, but just in general, the future of this character is going to be very important. The next time we see her on panel, it's going to have to be a conversation with Kurama, because one, it's going to be very important to understand or to note whether if Kurama is affected by omnipotence or not. And we have to see there's a lot of ways that they can play it for both sides, and especially in the terms of not being affected, because Kurama understandably is a tail beast, a derivation or a fraction of the 10 tails chakra, and we understand the 10 tails and its correlation or relation to Otsutsuki are sometimes one in one, right? Understanding that they're not necessarily the same race, right? But they've made it really ambiguous as to whether the Shinju even care about the omnipotence jutsu in general, whether they perceive Boruto as Boruto Uzumaki or Boruto Otsutsuki simply because of omnipotence, or because of the fact that his body is 100% Otsutsukified currently right now. And it could be that they're not affected, but they simply just don't care. But either way, Kurama's conversation with Himawari is going to be extremely important, because it will let us know what either Kurama is doing one or two things, that either he's been biding his time and he's realized he got revived in a timeline where all of a sudden, okay, Naruto isn't here. For some reason, people are treating this Kawaki kid like Boruto, and for some reason, I don't know where Boruto's at. And even bigger, for some reason, everything seems normal to Himawari. So maybe he was just biding his time, laying back to understand and gather more intel about things are going around. One, possibly to confirm if Naruto is actually dead, and possibly understanding, okay, Naruto isn't dead, and somehow leaking that information subconsciously to Himawari, which is why she's able to sense that Naruto is somehow alive somewhere out there, right? Maybe Kurama is on a big reconnaissance mission, right? And he can't let anybody know what's going down, even his entire host, right? So Himawari could be clueless until we see them have the next conversation. And even if all of this is just far-fetched and none of this is going down, at least we'll be able to have confirmation, because then we will understand, oh, so Kurama is affected by omnipotence. Everything is operating as normal. And according to Kurama, based off of his memories when he was revived, we already understand he remembers Naruto. He remembers the previous predecessors. So basically, the way that the world is shaped right now and how Kurama converses or translates this to Himawari is going to be important. And it's also going to be important on how she intakes and what she does with said information. Now, running with the idea that Kurama is not affected, and he talks to Himawari, basically he's been biding his time, and once he feels like he's gotten enough information, he's going to ask Himawari, why are you acting like Boruto Uzumaki isn't your real brother? And she's going to question like, I've been having this weird feeling the last few years, but it's something that I just always push deep down, and then they can dive deeper into the conversation that way. Maybe Himawari after this conversation, potential conversation, might be the first one to confront Kawaki in the fact of, okay, where's my mom and dad? You feel me? Like, let's be 100. I already know the truth. Kurama done revealed the truth to me. And to stray away from the idea because it's going to lead to some very uncomfortable conversations, I'm not too scared for Himawari to step on people's toes. After what we've seen her do against this guy Jura, and after the hype that Jura has been getting time and time again after each and every chapter, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, uncomfortable conversation wise, I don't see too many people really step into Himawari recklessly today in today's Naruto's Ninja World. I'm gonna just leave it at that, just to avoid the uncomfortable conversations. But still, it's gonna be real interesting to see how Kurama converses with Himawari, what Ikimoto decides to do once he decides to bring Himawari back into the story. Are they gonna focus on the Jura timeline? Are they gonna focus on the Kurama timeline? Are they gonna use Himawari as a catalyst to bleed into the Naruto story arc and start going that way into that regard? It's still gonna be so many questions, but I do believe, one, that Himawari is going to be a major important character in the future, and two, her next conversation with Kurama is going to determine exactly where her character would go, whether it be Kurama is affected by omnipotence or not, because if he's not, then it's going to be some type of way Kurama's trying to figure out to get Himawari back on board, or to get her to understand at least the very much truth of that her parents are alive, right? And try to at least just go from there. But if he is, to see how, you know, they both operate and how they can learn to grow stronger and what moves they potentially make on the chessboard to outmaneuver and outsmart this guy Jura. But let me know your thoughts and how y'all feel about it. It's your boy Black Uchiha 3. Holla at your boy. Until my next video, mad Uchiha content coming up. Holla at your boy. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Black Uchiha out. Yes, sir. Ski.